Hi, it's Nicola here with session 5, I think, of Money Mastery Fest, a series of trainings that are designed to help you create the perfect money making mindset so that you can have the abundance you desire and deserve in your life. So thank you so much for joining me and watching this training, where I'm going to be talking about how to set aligned money goals that feel really good for you, and don't become another stick for you to beat yourself with. Okay, so this is a question that came up in my Facebook group, Unbound Living, and someone asked me, one of the members asked me, how do you get the balance right between setting goals that feel really juicy and exciting and bold, but don't kind of lead to you getting into this really kind of ego place, like up in your head, and like they feel like a pressure and, like I said, a stick to beat yourself with, which is a really great question. Couldn't quite pronounce that then. And it's something that I've kind of done a lot of thinking around and a lot of work around, both personally and with my clients, because even though I am a kind of coach and not a kind of coach, I'm a coach and a hypnotherapist, I do have a kind of love-hate relationship with goals. And I recognize that they're important and that they can be, really expansive and inspirational and lead to us kind of stretching our comfort zones and creating kind of more abundance and stretching ourselves. But also they can feel very heavy and pressurizing. And particularly with money goals, what I find is sometimes women are reluctant to set money goals and really juicy money goals because there's this kind of thought at the back of your mind that what if I don't reach that goal, then I end up feeling like a failure. So I'll just kind of keep it really safe and just set myself a really safe money goal that feels very manageable for me. Okay. So what I like to say always, that it's really important to have a playful approach to any money goals that you set, particularly when it comes to money, because for a lot of people it can feel like quite a heavy subject, particularly when we're thinking about money goals. There's all of this money stuff that can get in the way, which is obviously why I work a lot with money, to help people clear their money stuff, which is not really a technical term, but it does a really good job of kind of describing all of this stuff that can come up for us around money, limiting beliefs, blocks of different kinds, all of this kind of history that we can have with money, which may lead us to feeling reluctant to setting money goals, or we might feel a bit fearful of our money goals. So I wanted to speak a little bit to this today, and I'm just going to have a glass of water. I've been doing a lot of talking today. So, like I said, I personally have a love-hate relationship with goals, and I have a tendency to go with the flow. I like to have a lot of freedom in my life and my business. So any goals that I do set, I want them to feel really expansive and exciting and inspiring, rather than, some feel like a deadline and feel kind of pressurizing. So how do you do that? How do you get the balance right? How do you set really aligned goals that kind of draw you towards them? It's like you can't help but reach them when you set them, as opposed to these heavier pressurizing goals, kind of ego-based goals. Well, what I do a lot of work around in my business, and I've written a book about this, is the idea of the inner good girl, this part of us that wants to fit in, get it right, look good to other people, please others. And what I encourage you to do is to check in with any of your goals, and this is not just money goals, but it's particularly helpful actually when it comes to financial goals, because all of this other stuff can kind of come up for us, is to check whether the goals that you're setting are what I call good girl goals. So these are goals that we are setting because we feel we should be making a certain amount. And if you're thinking, I should be making this much, whenever you use the word should, a little warning bell should go off, because what it means is you're being externally motivated. And what I mean by that is, even if this is happening unconsciously, you're looking at other people and what they're doing and maybe how much they're making and thinking, oh, I should be doing that too. So that's a clear sign of a good girl goal. A good girl goal, and that is not that easy to say. Nice bit of alliteration there. Is very much kind of externally motivated, and generally because you've been either consciously or unconsciously comparing yourself to other people. So you want your goals to be internally motivated. You can be inspired by other people, but it needs to feel good for you. Good girl goals tend to leave you feeling deflated when you think about achieving them. There's this sense of kind of deflation, you know, your kind of shoulders drop, and you might feel quite constricted, and like I said, it can feel like quite a heavy pressure, these good girl goals. So rather than feeling excited and expansive, it's like, oh, that's going to be really hard work to reach that. And another sign that you're setting good girl goals is that it feels like really hard work to take action on them. You're really struggling to think, oh, what is my first step? What is my next step? You know, it just all feels like a bit of a grind. If any of that is coming up for you, then it's likely that you've set a good girl goal for yourself. But I want to give you a really clear way to tune in to any goals that you've set for yourself, or any goals you're thinking about setting for yourself, to check in and see whether it is a good girl goal or what I call an unbound self goal. So I'm all about kind of healing your inner good girl, moving out of the influence of this part of us that wants to fit in and please others and is very externally motivated, and connecting with your unbound self, this part of you that, you know, is just free and is completely authentically you. Okay, so if you can set goals from that unbound place, it's really, really powerful. So how do you check in to see if you set yourself a good girl goal or an unbound self goal? Well, I always kind of encourage you to come into your body. So if you were watching my training session earlier, I was taking you through a process to come into your body. And it's the same thing when you are thinking about goals, you know, money goals or any other kind of goal you're setting for yourself. Because it's very easy to get up into your head and think, yeah, okay, I think I should be doing this. But if you check in with your body, it will let you know whether the goal you're setting is an aligned kind of unbound self goal, or whether it's a good girl, I feel I should be doing this. So what I want you to do is think about a goal that you've set yourself. Think about a goal maybe you're working towards at the moment. So, you know, we're talking about money goals here. So maybe think about the financial goal that you're working towards at the moment, either for this month or maybe this quarter or this year, the figure that you've come up with. And as you think about that, and you can say to yourself, I am making such and such amount this month, this quarter, this year, you can say the words out loud and just notice what happens in your body. Notice what physical sensations you're aware of. Okay. And notice whether that physical kind of feeling, that sensation, is constrictive and kind of deflating, whether you kind of go like this and hunch over and just feel this constricted feeling. And you can tell, I always feel everything in my tummy, so I will always point to my tummy. Or whether it feels expansive, like you're opening up. And this can be very subtle. Just check in, and you will be able to tell whether it feels constrictive or expansive. Okay, as you just say to yourself, I am making this amount, whatever the figure is, this month, quarter, year, and make it specific to you. Notice what happens physically. So like I said, it can be very subtle, but you will notice whether it feels more constrictive and constricting, or expansive and opening. And what you're looking for is a goal that feels really expansive. Now, saying that, it's okay to feel some fear around your goals, okay? Because if you're setting a really lovely, unbound, juicy goal, it's likely you'll be stretching yourself and moving out of your comfort zone, which can feel scary. So just because you're feeling some fear doesn't mean, oh, this is a good girl goal, this is not right for me. What you want to do is when you notice that fear coming up, and it might have done that, you may have had some kind of mixed signals there. It may have felt kind of expansive, but then there was this fear. Just breathe into that fear. And what I mean by that is just, you know, wherever you're feeling that fear in your body, and again, you will notice a place where maybe you felt that expansion and then there was like a kind of knot of fear or something. Just imagine that your breath is flowing into that part of you. And just notice as you breathe into that fear, because, you know, there's this saying, and I can't remember who said it, but fear is just excitement without the breath. So if you breathe into it, you will notice whether it starts to move and shift and actually transform into this sense of excitement, this expansive feeling, or whether actually that fear feels really heavy and constrictive and like, oh no, this just doesn't feel right. Okay, so just take some time to breathe through any fear that's coming up and notice what it shifts into. Okay, so that's what you want to do, to just check in with your money goals, okay, or any other sort of goal. So if you're sitting down at the beginning of the month or like the quarter or the year or the week, you know, whatever, however you set your financial goals, and I do encourage you to set goals, but have a really playful attitude towards them. Like I say, you know, have a lightness of touch around them. So have fun with them. You know, think, wow, how much would it be great to make this week, this month, this year? And really have that kind of joyful, playful approach to them. But when you're sitting down to set your financial goals, just take yourself through this process and check in to see whether it's a good goal, externally motivated goal, or whether it feels really expansive. Check in with your body to see how that feels, because it will always tell you. As I was saying in this morning's training session, your body is this amazing, very often untapped source of wisdom. So check in there, and you can't go wrong. And you can check in with different amounts and see which one feels really good for you. So if you have any questions or comments about what I've shared with you around how to set money goals, please do comment below the video and I will come back and answer your questions and respond to your comments. And I also want to let you know that everything I'm sharing during Money Mastery Fest is included in my brand new book, Money Mastery, a guide to creating financial flow and being your most abundant self. It's available right now on Amazon for Kindle download, and for today it is available for just 99p. So it's Wednesday the 22nd of March today, and it's available until tomorrow morning for just 99p, or the equivalent price in whatever country you're in. So if you want to grab yourself a copy, head over to Amazon and search for Money Mastery, and you can download your copy now. And in that book I share kind of all of my kind of writings, blogs from the past 3 years that I've written around how to, like I say, perfect your money making mindset and create more abundance in your life. So there's lots of different information in there, mindset stuff, and also some simple practical strategies that will help you to manifest the money that you desire and deserve. So do go take a look. I would love you to get your copy of that. Fantastic. I will be back at 8 p.m. this evening with the final session of Money Mastery Mess. It's a bit of a slip. Money Mastery Fest. And I will be sharing with you my go-to tool for when money stress kind of wakes you up in the middle of the night, or when you wake up in the morning with money stress. What's the go-to tool that will help you to shift it? So I'm going to be sharing that with you at 8 p.m. this evening. Hope that I can see you then, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.